Bank and Crossway streets at either end, reaching out and closing her place in. Just to see it made her feel old for fair. Why, when she came here as a girl, all this was solid woods. Not a white folks' cabin for miles east or west, south to the Forks or north towards the English lakes. Anywhere you turned, the trees stood so close and thick that Jerry had to suck for breath. The first year you hardly saw another white person. These days, folks were always stopping off from their old states to settle down at Moonshine Church. When she came back in, the fire looked like it was out, but she knew there would be coals a-glowing and winking down under the ash, and that the water in the big kettle would still be good and warm. The others could lay abed a while till she washed herself all over, for so busy was she Saturday and Saturday night with 10 others to get washed that she had to wait for Sunday morning when it was generally too chilly for these younger ones. She pulled off her old robe and bedgown. Let the girls look down the loft hole at their mam naked if they liked. They would only see how they'd look themselves 30 or 40 years hence. Now why, she wondered, did a woman's hams have to get heavy just when she needed them supple and light the most? Could those hams spell out that no more child would rise up between them? And why did her breasts, that used to be stout as wood ducks, hang down now like old shook-out meal bags? 10 babes, counting the one that lay over yonder in the burying-ground, had drunk from those bags months on end. Were those tits a-telling her now that they didn't have to stand up and feed greedy mouths any more? Was that it? Was that the change that had come on her, that never could she give flesh, blood, and breath to a squalling young one again? 7 years back she would have thanked her lucky stars to know she had no more on the way, and never could have another even if she wanted. But now that she was a scutched tree, that it had come true like winter or taxes, she didn't know as she liked it so much. Not that she could do anything about it. Never could you go back once the door closed behind you. You could dig in your heels and grab holt if you wanted, but you had to go on. Even them that had to pass to another world went without making too much fuss about it. As soon as she had her clothes on, she called the boys from the loft over her and Porteous's room, for they had chores to do. Resolve, the first, a man already and a lawyer like his pappy. Then Gurdon, with his Yankee gimber jaw, always a-scheming to get out of work like his grandpappy Luckett. Next, freckled Kinsey, who was going on an appointment to the Government Academy at Annapolis in the fall. Then it was the girl's turn. Huldah, sly as a young fisher fox with her black eyes and eye-winkers. Next, Libby, with her fine hazel eyes, fat bottom, and teasing ways. Sooth, who would be a beauty some day with her white skin, red hair, and sweet mouth. And Deja, 10 or 11, the little oldest Bay State lady you ever saw. After that she called Porteous, a winking and a blinking in the morning like an untamed, uncombed lion with weak eyes. Last of all she sent one of the girls up for her 2 littlest, no more than babes in the manger, both of them unexpected and coming a long ways after the rest. Massey, who wouldn't keep still, and Chansey, who hadn't dared to run, a-rubbing their eyes and holding fast to each other, for they were 2 against the rest. Once they were all in the kitchen, Sayward felt better. Her chances to have more young ones might be gone, but she had made hay while the sun shone. Why, seeing them all come down in the morning made her think of that light-handed professor at the ferry house last winter who took more things out of Porteous's old high hat than you could shake a stick at. What's more, Resolve was itching to marry and fetch his bride home. Before she'd know it, there'd be more young ones a-landin' at this cabin. She couldn't figure out where they'd put them all. Maybe Porteous was right, and they did need that big house he wanted to put up. Come to think of it, she had no time to think of getting old or of death, or of how she felt when she was young and spunky. She better forget mooning now and get to work. She could be glad her changes had stopped, so she could have all her snap to tend what she had. The wars were over.